Good morning, Happy New Year. Welcome to the first video of 2024. So I thought it would be good today to do a little bit about our aligning with vision and our intention. So I don't like the whole New Year's resolution type thing. I feel like if we are consistent in our lives, we don't need to have to keep feeling like we've got to start again every year and then give ourselves hope and things to expect of ourselves and then actually not really follow through and achieve them. It kind of brings us down back into a lack of self-worth and feeling like we're not really getting where we want to be. So what I try to help people with is keeping that constant cycle moving. So it's sort of when we align with our vision, our intention, and we can set that now and we can keep that running through the whole year and even into the next year and just continue that through and just keep adding to layers of it, cleansing through layers of it, keeping the energy fresh and flowing, and try and move like that. That's how I try and live my own life personally, and that's what I try to help other people to achieve in their lives. So let's get started then. So we're going to stand just at the top of the mat, feet just hip width apart. Take a nice deep breath in and reach all the way up. And just stretching out through your body, I want you to have a think about a word, a mantra, so just one single word that you can think of that can be your intention for this year. So exhale, releasing your hands down. So just try and have a little think about that right now. What is that word for you? See if you can find that word just pops into your head. Try not to overthink it. Soften through your knees. We're going to inhale, reach up again. Have you found that word yet? Exhale, hinge forwards and down from your hips, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. So just have a think about that word whilst we practice. And if the word comes to you, then great. If not, then don't worry. You can always come back to this video again and again to bring that word for you. But just find a word that you can feel resonates with what your intention is. Hands to your shins and inhale, lengthen through your spine. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale and fold forwards and down again. And just stepping back into downward dog. Hips up and back, looking towards your thighs, space between your shoulders and your ears. And gently floating forwards into plank, coming down onto your knees. And whilst you're here, just sit back into child pose for a moment. So just slide back and down. Nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring your chest and your chin down towards the ground. And inhale, lower your hips and roll your shoulders back. Back into child pose, just sit back into your heels. So just moving through the energy. As you exhale, pushing back into downward dog, hips up and back, space between your shoulders and your ears. Bending your knees and stepping your feet back into the centre. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees and inhale, rise, coming all the way back up to standing. So if you found that word now, just repeating that word to yourself throughout the practice. I'm going to work with it at the end of the practice. You've got plenty of time to think what that word might be. Nice deep breath in. And again, exhale, hinging forwards and down, sucking in the head, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. Inhaling, hands to shins and lengthening your spine. So as you breathe deeply into your back, and then as you exhale, bring the belly towards the thighs and let it out. Stepping back into downward dog, hips up and back. Floating forwards into plank, coming down onto your knees and sitting back into child pose. Just sit back and breathe. Nice deep breath in as you exhale, chest and chin towards the ground. Float down and inhale, rise. Good. Exhale, downward dog, lifting your hips up and back. Nice deep breath in as you exhale, bending your knees and stepping your feet back into the centre. And just exhale, fold. Soften your knees, inhale, rising all the way up. Palms together and squeeze. And exhale, clasping your hands back behind you, opening through your chest, just awakening your yoga body once more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hinging forwards and down, tucking in the head. Inhale, hands to shins again and lengthen, so exactly the same, just really pressing the tailbone back, bring that length to your spine. And exhale, fold forwards and down. Stepping back into downward dog. Float forwards into a plank position, coming down onto your knees and sit back into child pose. So just feel that lovely stretch along your spine where we awaken Sushumna, the central channel. And as you exhale, chest and chin towards the ground. Inhale through, rolling the shoulders. Exhale, child pose. Sit back into your heels and stretch it through. Exhale, downward dog. Hips up and back. Just let the head hang, let your neck relax. Gently bending your knees and stepping your feet back into the centre, hip width apart as you fold. Soften your knees and inhale, rising all the way back up. Exhale, clasping your hands back behind as you open through your chest, rolling the shoulders back and down. You're welcome to keep your feet hip width apart, or if you want more, you can bring your feet closer together. Now, if you did get yourself a nice new sexy yoga mat for Christmas, brilliant. And hopefully it's got lines down it, so you can use the central line to place your feet into. Hands into a prayer position, and we're going to sit down into intense pose. So sink down into your legs and lift through your chest. So just really feeling that length, but really drawing the belly button towards the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down. And just breathe and hold. Tuck in the chin, lengthen through your spine. So how grounded do you feel in this position? Do you feel like you're wobbling a little bit from side to side, or do you feel quite steady and stable in the centre? Sometimes when we have a bit of a break, it can do your body good, just having a little bit of a rest, and when you come back you feel that little bit stronger because your body's developed from everything that you've done previously. Not too long of a break, mind. We're going to exhale and fold forwards and down from here, and just point your fingertips down between your toes, resting the head, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. And from here, separate your hands and step your right foot back into a lunge. We're going to drop that back knee to the ground and inhale, extend, reaching back, so squeezing the buttock on the back leg. So you don't need to go too far if that feels too intense for you. But the more you squeeze the buttock here, it's going to protect your lower back. And just see if you can bring your hands down over your heart centre. Good. I'm going to add a little bit of a twist. So you can either reach the hand down towards the ground, or if you'd like a deeper twist, you can rest the elbow onto the opposite knee and turn out towards the left. If you want more, you can curl the back toe under, lift the chest and twist a little bit further with the knee off the ground. And just take a couple of deep breaths there. Try and stay down into the legs, pressing that heel into the ground, feeling that connection with the earth. Good. And if you want to, you can open and extend just a little bit. And slowly coming back through to the centre, releasing the hands down, stepping your back foot in and folding forwards. Relax the shoulders and the jaw, bring your fingertips back into the centre. And softly bending your knees, coming back into intense pose. So we're reaching those hands over the heart centre, rolling the shoulders back and down, breathing into it. Wonderful. Very slowly, just rising up. So have a stretch, reach and extend. Release your hands around the back, open through the body. And again, reaching up. And as you exhale, bring your hands back down over your heart center, back into your intense pose. So sinking down into your legs, lift through your chest, lengthen through your spine. Stay strong like this for a moment. And as you exhale, swan dive down, releasing the fingertips between the toes, tucking in the head. And this time, stepping your left foot back. So separate your hands, step your left foot back, knee to the ground, and rise into a crescent shape. So we're sinking down into the legs. Try and press the hips forward to where you can. Again, squeezing the buttock on the back leg. Nice deep breaths here. And slowly, when you're ready, reaching your hands down over the heart center. If you want to, you can reach that hand down onto the ground, or you can revolve with your hands, reaching your left elbow onto the right thigh, and try and bring your hands towards the center of your chest as much as you can. And you can either stay here, or you can lift off into that leg, pushing down into the front heel. Lengthen through your body. Nice deep breaths. And extending through your arms. Open and breathe. Slowly release. Come back through to centre. Bring yourself back through. And bringing that knee back down to the ground. Releasing your hands and stepping your back foot in. Feet together as you fold forwards and down. Bring your fingertips back through to the centre. And sitting down into your intense pose with your hands over heart centre. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Just release. Relax. And gently inhale, rising all the way up to standing. Reach and squeeze, baby back bend. And exhale, release and clasping your hands back behind you, opening through your chest and rolling your shoulders back and down. Wonderful. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do now is standing with your feet nice and wide. So a nice wide stance with your legs. And we're going to sink down into a squat. So a nice warrior squat to bring us into the year. Hands again into that prayer position. So we're looking at things that are going to connect us, ground us, because we want to bring that intention from where we've brought it from here, bringing it down into the ground where we're going to plant that seed for it to grow, to manifest into our lives. So rolling the shoulders back and down. Nice deep breaths. And each exhale, you're just sinking that little bit deeper, trying to keep your knees in line with the toes, so make sure that your legs are nice and wide, knees aren't collapsing in. Breathe. And just stay with that breath for a moment. Just stay in your legs. Feel that heat starting to build. And just notice how you distribute your weight. Do you feel like you're leaning one side to the other, or do you feel quite balanced in the middle? And just staying in the legs once more as we extend through your arms. Now you might find that a challenge on your back. So if you do, just separate the arms already and bring them out nice and wide. Sinking down. Stay strong. Don't worry, you'll get some relief off your legs in a moment. Just for now, reaching the arms around the back and open through the chest. Stay strong. Stay grounded. Connect to Mother Earth. Remember your word, your intention, your one-word mantra for today. Slowly and gently we're going to rise up and straighten the legs and just turning your left heel out, right toes towards the right wall, pushing the hip away and release into triangle. So triangle is a really good one to work with, especially at the beginning of the year. So it represents pillars of knowledge. All of these straight limbs represent the pillars of knowledge, the foundations of what you have worked through in your life to be exactly where you are today. And if you want to, you can reach that top arm around the back. Try and reach around for your thigh as you roll the top shoulder back. And just breathing, either looking up towards the ceiling or looking down towards the ground. And if you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, then you can extend just a little bit further. Breathe and hold, pushing this top hip up towards the ceiling a little bit more if you can. Wonderful. Now we're going to add a bit of a challenge to this. We're going to rise up very slowly, so soften that supporting leg if you need to, reaching up and back. And as you exhale, we're going to revolve. So just bringing yourself around towards the back of the room, extending your left hand down and reaching your right arm high. And wherever you focus, when we've worked with Drishti before, that focus, we're looking towards the back of the room, so bring your chest to where you are gazing as well. Use the breath, so how easy or difficult is it to breathe today? And wrapping that top arm around again as you revolve, just a little bit further. And just be aware of not hyperextending your knee on the front leg as well, so don't let it bend too far. Don't let it straighten too far rather. One more deep breath here and slowly release both your hands down either side of that front leg, bringing your nose down towards the knee, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. If you want to, you can take a hold of your ankle, of your calf, wherever you can reach. Wonderful. And slowly and gently release, bending that front knee and rising back up. So we're going to just widen this stance for a moment now. We're going to sink down into an extended warrior. So we'll feel a deeper stretch here, extending this arm overhead and sinking down into the legs. So stay in this pose for a moment, breathing into it. As you lower the hips down and lift up and out through the chest. If you want more, you can release the hand down towards the ground, but make sure that you lower the hip down with you. Stay in it. Well done. And if you want to, you can wrap that arm around the back, and again, just hook it round and look back over the shoulder. Nice deep breaths here. Slowly and gently release. Walk yourself around to the centre. And just bringing your feet in, so heels in, toes out, and rising back up into your warrior squat. So just sinking down into the legs. Now this leg might be screaming at you right now. Just take a moment Just breathe. And then slowly rising up, just straighten both your legs for a moment. Release your hands around the back, open through your chest. Yep, we're going to go back into that pose right now and do all of that sequence again on the other side. So slowly bring your hands into that prayer position, sink down into the legs, stay. Try and breathe, try and lengthen through your spine. Feel really grounded in your legs and your heels. Trust yourself. And all of these poses become easier through our control of the breath and through our practice, just continuing that practice constantly. Your muscles start to grow, start to develop. You become a little bit more resilient, a little bit more full of stamina. So just take one last deep breath here. Slowly and gently we're going to rise up and out. Turn your feet towards the left this time, extending through the arms. So if you've got lines on your mat, again, you just want to align, make sure that your heels are aligned. Pushing the hip away, releasing your hand down and lengthen into your triangle position. So really lengthen through the spine as much as you can, reaching both legs nice and straight. Feel that stretch here in the top hip and in the hamstring. But again, don't hyperextend this, so don't push the knee right back. And just listening to your muscles throughout the whole thing. You can either look up towards your top hand, or you can look down towards the ground, or just continue to look straight ahead if that feels better for you. Nice deep breaths. And the more you breathe, the more you create that flow of energy through your body. When the breathing feels restricted, it restricts that flow of energy. So just wrapping the arm around again and looking as deep as you can. Nice deep breaths, thinking about length throughout your body. Just feeling that, thinking that, staying with the breath. And softly from there, so you might need to slightly bend that knee as you rise up, reaching up and back, and as you exhale, like a cartwheel, revolve and take it back behind you. So again, thinking about that length, you can either look up towards the top hand or look down towards the ground. Just staying in the legs, staying in the breath. And because it's a twist, it might feel a little bit restrictive. Just see what you can do. Wonderful, just taking that one last deep breath there. Slowly and gently folding over your thigh, nose down towards the knee, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw, and if you want to, you can hold on to your calf or your ankle, bringing the nose down, or just releasing your hands to the ground, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Just relax, just be present. Just being aware of how that feels for you right now. And on your next breath, just gently bending that front knee, rising up to standing. So now we're going to widen that stance. So take it a lot wider, but heels still nice and aligned. Sinking down, resting the elbow and extending the arm overhead into your extended warrior. So that should feel like a nice stretch through the hips. Open through the chest, so try not to reach down. Try and reach your chest towards the front. Pushing the outside edge of that back foot away and sinking the legs deep. Nice deep breaths here. Just stay strong. And again, if you want more, you can reach your fingertips down towards the ground. Lowering your hips down with you. So make sure you're doing that, but not with your hips up here. They need to be down nice and low. And the chest turned out towards front. One more deep breath here. And slowly and gently release. We're going to just rise up nice and gently. Straightening your legs. Turn your toes in, your heels out, and hinge forwards from your hips. And just relax. So you can either widen the legs a bit more or bring them in a bit closer if that's too intense. And just relax here for a moment. So holding the elbows can be quite nice, or you can reach for your toes if you would prefer, or just resting your hands down towards the ground. So whilst we're in this position, I'm going to remind you of your word, your one word mantra. Just remind yourself of that word, what it means to you. How does it feel when you repeat it to yourself? And just try and relax into it. Wonderful. On your next breath, just walking your hands in, walking your feet back together. Feet are just hip width apart as you fold forwards. Soften through your knees and inhale, rise. So your legs might be a little bit achy now after all of that. Just stretch for me and exhale. Clasping your hands back behind you, rolling the shoulders back and down. So we're just going to do a little round of sun salutation just to move that through the body a little bit, get that movement going. So feet just hip width apart. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring your palms down through the central channel. Hands to the ground. You can either step or jump yourself back into downward dog. And either knees to the ground or off the ground. We're going to lower your chest and chin down and inhale through into cobra. Nice deep breath in there and exhale, push back into downward dog. Bending your knees and stepping your feet back into the centre. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees and inhale, rise. And again, exhale, coming down deep into the ground. Step or jump, hips up and back. Chest and chin lower. Inhale through. And exhale back into downward dog, hips up and back. Bending your knees and step or jump back into the centre. Exhale, fold. Soften knees. Inhale, rise. One more time. Exhale, hinging forwards and down, tucking in the head. Step or jump. Chest and chin come forwards. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pushing it through. And this time as you exhale, just come down onto your knees and sit back into child pose. So you can take the knees quite wide for this if you want to. Just bringing the head down towards the ground, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. Nice deep breaths. And then slowly and gently from there, just sitting up. Sit up nice and tall. And just stay in this position just for a moment. So we're just bringing the knees wide. You can move your hips a little bit if you want to. We're going to add a little twist. So we're going to reach around the back. Inhale, lift. And exhale, look over the shoulder. And then slowly revolve. Same the other way. Inhale, lift. And exhale, look over the shoulder. Slowly coming back through to the centre. Bring your legs around and in front. Okay. So, we're going to bring your feet together. Sitting up nice and tall. So this is just more working through the hips, working with that stretch. We haven't done too much at the moment with balance, but don't worry, we'll come into that in a moment, a little bit later. So just lifting through your chest, lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, bring your elbows down towards your knees and bring the crown of the head down towards the toes. And just relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. So again, I'm going to remind you of your mantra, of that one word. Bring yourself back to it. What does that mean for you? How does it feel being sat in this pose, focusing on your word? Wonderful. Slowly rising up and placing your hands back behind you and just being really open now. Because if we want an intention, if we want our mantra to manifest, we want to live what we're speaking, we have to be open. We have to be open to it, to enable it, to manifest. Very gently bring your knees back through to centre. We're going to take your legs over to the right, both legs at 90 degrees, left hand behind you, and lift your hips up off the floor. Lift and lengthen through your spine. Slowly coming back down and swapping back over the other way. So both legs 90 degrees. Pressing the hand back behind you, lift and squeeze to where you can. And very slowly and gently just release and relax. Push back into downward dog. So just curling the toes under, sitting your hips up and back, space between your shoulders and your ears. Bending your knees and stepping your feet back into the centre. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees and inhale, rising all the way back up. Exhale, clasping your hands back behind you and opening through your chest. So we're going to work again, working with the hips and the buttocks, but more of a stretch, but also working with balance as well. So I'm just going to step back a tiny bit. Feet are hip width apart. We're going to take your right leg over the left thigh and just stand for a moment in this position. If you want to, you can place your hands over your heart centre. So this is our standing pigeon. So it can be a bit tricky at first, so you might want to find a nice stable flat surface to try this out on. And then we're going to sit the hips back like we do in our intense pose. So we're sinking down into the legs. Flex the foot to shorten the muscle to feel more of a stretch there. So you might feel that stretch all around the buttock there, rolling the shoulders back and down. Breathing and holding. So just stay here right now if this is enough for you. If you don't feel you need any more than this. And if you want to, you can try and go a little bit deeper, bending deeper into the legs. Reaching deeper, you can extend your hands down towards the ground. If you feel like you can actually touch the floor, then go for it, but don't force it. If it's really intense here, don't go any further than this point. So that's all I'm going to demonstrate today. Just stay for a moment, try and relax the muscles into it. Wonderful. Slowly and gently coming back, rising up and releasing that leg back down and just shaking it off. Well done. We held that for a little while there. I'm going to try that on the other side now. So just standing nice and tall, hands into a prayer position, softening your knees, and when you're ready, taking that leg across and sinking down deep. Breathe and hold. Stay strong with it. Lifting through the chest as you sink down into the hips. Feel that lovely stretch. It is also a challenge being here in this position, but just bring yourself back to that intention, to that focus. What do you want out of life? Where do you want this to take you? And when you're ready, you can start to extend further down. Try and lower your hips first before your chest. Breathing into it, just being aware of how that feels on your back as well. Nice and controlled. And also, just being aware of if one side feels stiffer than the other. Just taking one last deep breath there and slowly coming back and rising up, shaking your legs off. Wonderful, well done. So feet just hip width apart. We're going to salutate again, so extending. Exhale, hinge forwards and down, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. Inhale, your hands to your shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Stepping or jumping back into downward dog, hips up and back. Chest and chin moves through the hands. Inhale through into up dog or cobra. And exhale, child pose again. So on your knees, sit back into your heels, bring the head down. If you want to, you can reach your arms back behind you. And just stay for a moment. Really feel your breath. And slowly, when you're ready, just rising up again, sitting up nice and tall. Wonderful. And just staying down on the ground this time. Bring your legs out in front of you. So I'm going to take your left leg underneath and bring your right leg on top and just sitting up nice and tall for a moment. So just lengthen through the spine. And if you can, releasing your right hand around the back, lift for your chest. You can hook that left leg in if that feels comfortable, or you can just release it around by the knee if you prefer. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, looking over your shoulder. And just a nice deep breath there. Try and relax the shoulders and the jaw. Slowly coming back through to centre. We're going to untangle your legs, straighten your right leg and folding down. Don't worry if you feel like you can't get that far to your foot. You can place your hands around by your thigh or your shin or your ankle, wherever you can comfortably reach. So don't force yourself anywhere. Just try and relax the upper body as you breathe. And softly inhale, reaching your left arm around the back. Prop yourself up and exhale, looking over the shoulder. Nice deep breaths. Slowly and gently release. I'm going to swap over legs this time. So now taking the right leg underneath, left leg sits on top. And you can sit on that heel to prop yourself up if you need to. So just making sure that you've got nice length through your spine. And again, you can either hook that leg in or just hold it with the hand. I'm going to demonstrate holding it with the hand just in case there's any beginners today. You just need to see how it looks like this. So inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, looking over the shoulders. So you have just twisted this way, but you might feel it slightly in a different place around the spine. So always try and be aware of what you're feeling and when, and as you breathe, how does it change things? What does it do for you? How much are you focusing on your posture, tucking the chin down, lengthening the neck, creating that space in Sushumna, that central channel. Slowly and gently release. Straightening your leg and exhale, folding forwards and down. And just relaxing into it. Very gently taking your right arm around the back, prop yourself up and exhale, look over the shoulder. Slowly and gently release. Coming back through to centre, and we're just going to straighten both your legs now. So sitting up tall, and Paschimottanasana as you exhale, fold forwards and down, relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. And just take one last deep breath there as you slowly and gently release. Place your hands back behind you, bending one leg, and we're going to lift your hips up and roll the shoulders back and down. Just come into a reverse plank. Opening through the front of the body, and slowly and gently release and lower back down. I'm going to show you just from the side now. We're going to come all the way down towards the ground, so feet just hip width apart, rolling down one vertebra at a time, arms by your side, and walking your feet in hip width apart. And just try and distribute the weight evenly through your pelvis. Relax. Nice deep breaths. And as you exhale, peel your pelvis up off the floor, clasping your hands underneath and walking your shoulders under, tucking the chin down, lengthen and breathe. Nice deep breaths. Really deepen that breath, really expand through your lungs. And then on your next breath, slowly lowering your hips back down, bringing your knees in towards your chest. So this should feel really nice, just rocking around, loosen up any tension there in your lower back maybe. Your hips at all, and your pelvis. Good. And very gently, we're going to place your feet down onto the ground. So if you want to, you can use cushions or blankets or anything under your knees. And take the feet together and the knees wide. Bend at the elbows and extending your arms overhead, and just relax yourself down into this pose. Just try and relax your whole body, just enjoy the stretch, just letting go of the tension, creating space, especially around the sacral centre, so just feeling that space there, that stretch there. And again, just really deepening that breath. Tucking the chin down to lengthen the back of your neck. Wonderful. We're just going to stay here now for a moment before we come into Shavasana, before we work with a small meditation. We're working with that focus, that intention, that mantra that you made at the beginning of the practice. It's all about that Sankalpa, that resolve. stay here a little bit longer if you want to, or if you're ready to move your legs, you can bring your knees together and your feet wide. That's usually quite comfortable. You can place your hands on your body or just by your side if that feels most comfortable for you. And if you wish, popping something warm on, grabbing some socks if you need to. And then bringing yourselves into a place where you can relax, maybe dim the lights. This is your time now to completely relax. So if you need a little bit longer in your butterfly pose, then you might want to pause the video for a moment and then come back to it when you're ready for the meditation. But if you are ready for the meditation now, then gently just lying in Shavasana, closing your eyes, trying to find the most comfortable position that you can so that you don't have to move. And just begin to take a few deep breaths, just inhaling and exhaling completely. Just deeply relaxed. And just focusing your attention to the very crown of your head. To each breath, visualizing breathing in from the crown of your head and drawing that breath down to your heart center. So just focusing on that breath for the moment. Focusing on how that feels. And as you breathe from the crown of your head to your heart center, I want you to just focus on that word, that intention, the mantra that you set at the beginning of this practice. And breathe that word in now from the crown of your head into your heart center. Feel the intention behind that word, filling your heart center. And as you draw that word down with the breath, you might want to visualize it like you're planting a seed in the soils of your heart. You're planting that seed in there. Each breath is bringing it deeper and deeper into that soil. So breathing that word in through the crown of your head, down to your heart center. And now as you exhale, feel that dropping down from your heart center into your root. So all the way down as you exhale. So try that with me now. Inhaling the word from the crown of your head to the heart center. And exhaling from your heart center down into your root. And where that root then begins to connect to the earth soil. Bringing it down to connect with the earth. As if your physical being is a vessel for this Sankalpa to manifest. Your physical being is that vessel, bringing that intention, that Sankalpa, allowing it to grow. And as you exhale, anchoring it down into the earth. So from the soils of your heart center down into the soils of the earth. Remembering your word. Keep repeating that word with each breath. Inhaling from the crown to your heart and exhaling from your heart to your root. I'm going to make a sound now to empower this process, to empower your Sankalpa, to bring that manifestation. A bit like, imagine I'm bringing the water to the soil to bring that manifestation in. Now just start to visualize that intention, that Sankalpa, buried in the earth, ready to sprout. And all you need to do is to nurture it. Remind yourself of it, don't forget it. Keep repeating the same word with the same emphasis, with the same intention. And that is like pouring water onto it and bringing sunshine to it. All of the things that are necessary to grow. Life force and water. And you can either stay here for a little bit longer, just focusing, just sitting with your Sankalpa, sitting with this planted intention. Or you can begin to rise now. Just taking a few deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling completely. Moving and stretching in your own way, bringing yourself back into this room. And when you feel wide awake, just sitting up tall. As we close this practice, we inhale, extend, palms together, and exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste.